Can we get multiple servers on an urgent basis with low cost? Can we manage multiple virtual servers without hardware team, networking team, or storage experts with high security? Yes, we can. The answer is AWS EC2. With EC2, we can create multiple virtual servers within a minute, and we can scale up and scale down at any time. Also, we can pay as per the usage. In this video, I'm going to show you what is EC2 instance, how to create EC2 instance from scratch. So hit the subscribe button, watch this video till the end. Let us build our first cloud server. Hello everyone, welcome to SR Technologies. As part of AWS free course, in this video, I'm going to cover EC2 instance. Fine. Guys, please subscribe my channel to get more technical videos. Also, don't forget to like this video and share this video with your friends so that it can reach more people who wants to learn AWS course with free of cost. Fine. Coming to today's topic. Today's topic is EC2 instance. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. It is a virtual server. EC2 is a virtual server. Fine. If you want to understand EC2 instance, you should have an idea about virtualization concept and physical servers. Guys, already I have clearly explained about this virtualization concept in AWS demo session. Fine. But still, I will cover virtualization concept and physical servers in this video. If you see this example, see here, this is the physical server. In this physical server, we have 500 GB hard disk and 16 GB RAM and processor. On top of this hardware, we need to install operating system. It can be anything. Operating system can be anything. It can be Linux or it can be Windows as per the requirement. Also, we can run only one application on top of this physical server. Here, we can see a lot of disadvantages, guys, but still, we had only one option previously, that was physical server. Fine. That was the reason. So we used to use only physical servers previously. Fine. That means before virtualization concept. See here, if you want to run an application on this physical server, you can run only one application. If this application don't consume 500 GB space, that means if this application consumes only 100 GB, sometimes it will consume 100 GB, sometimes it will consume 50 GB only, sometimes it will consume 200 GB or 300 GB. That depends on the application size. Fine. Let us assume that this application consumes only 100 GB space from this hard disk. What about the rest of the 400 GB? It will be wasted. Again, you cannot run another application on the same physical server. If you want to run another application, you have to purchase another physical server. So it's too expensive to purchase multiple physical servers. Also, it's difficult to manage multiple physical servers. We need secured area, that means secured space, and also we need a lot of teams, hardware team, network team, and these teams to manage these servers. Fine. So these are the main disadvantages, and there are also another disadvantages. I'm not going in depth in that part right now. Fine. So that's where virtualization has come into the picture. To overcome all these issues, we just started using virtualization concept. So what is this virtualization concept? Yes, here, if you take same physical hardware, on top of that physical hardware, by using virtualization concept, that means some hypervisor kind of tool we can just install. With help of that hypervisor, we can create multiple virtual servers. Virtual server means which is not present physically, but still you can work with the physical servers. Whatever tasks you can do in the physical servers, you can do all the tasks in the virtual server. Fine. We can just create multiple virtual servers on top of same hardware. That means this hypervisor will distribute this hardware among these virtual servers. Fine. Here, every virtual server will be having its own dedicated operating system copy. Again, OS means operating system. Fine. Here also operating system. Now you can run one application in this VM1. VM means virtual machine. You can run another application on VM2. Also, you can run another application on VM3 like this. Fine. Based on this hardware capacity, you can create multiple virtual servers here. Let us
go in a little bit depth this. Here, for example, in your project, you need 2000 servers. In the 2000 servers, something like a development team development team needs some 100 servers, DevOps team needs some 50 servers, testing team needs some 20 servers, like that. So to whom should they contact? They has to contact a cloud team. Guys, here cloud team is not only the team who will work on AWS or Azure. No. Even before AWS, before Azure, before Google Cloud, also cloud team was there. Cloud concept is different. Cloud concept means, see here, this is the data center. Data center means where we can place all our infrastructure. Infrastructure means anything, servers, routers, switches, storage related services, and network related resources, and everything. We can store everything in the data center. So that is a secured place. Fine. In this data center, we'll just place all these physical servers. On top of that physical servers, we can just create these virtual servers. Who will do this process? Cloud team will do this process. If your development team requests some 100 servers, that cloud team will get that request and cloud team will create that 100 servers and they will hand over to your development team. If cloud team get the request from DevOps team to create some 50 servers, after checking all the approvals, after make sure they have proper approvals and proper justification, what they will do, they will create some 50 virtual servers on top of this physical hardwares which are present in the data center, and they will assign that IP addresses to concerned teams. So this is the cloud team work. Fine. So this is the virtualization concept and this is the cloud concept. So I think now you understood clearly what is the major differences between physical servers and virtual servers. Fine. Again, guys, here you have to understand something. If you are using your data center, if you are using your on-premise servers means which are in your data center, local data center. So you have to maintain this hardware team, network team, storage team, and system admins and electricians, and so a lot of things you have to take care, and security and all these things. Also, if you want to scale up the environment, if you want to, if you need any extra servers or extra infrastructure on an urgent basis, it's a bit difficult to procure all those infrastructure on urgent basis. Also, it is a challenge to manage these multiple servers in your data center. So let us assume that after completion of your project, so what about this infrastructure? Fine. For example, 2000 servers you have created in your data center for your current project. So that project is complete. After completion of that project, what about that infrastructure? If you have another project you can use, but we are not sure that same infrastructure can be used for that project also. If you sell this infrastructure, sell these servers on a second sale, so you will not get even half of the amount. So then your company will get huge loss. So that is the reason what we can do. There is an alternate method. That is, we can just take all these servers or infrastructure for rental purpose. So who will give this infrastructure for a rent? Cloud providers will give this infrastructure for rent. What are those cloud providers? AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, Oracle Cloud, IBM, DigitalOcean, like this. Those are the cloud providers. Let us talk about AWS now. So this is the AWS Cloud. Guys, here again you should remember one thing. Here cloud team will create this virtual servers for your project, for any other projects also. So that is private cloud. This is private cloud. That means this your own data center is private cloud. That means no one can enter into that network. That is exclusively for your company. But here this is public cloud. That's it. Same kind of data centers will be maintained by AWS. Also, AWS will maintain multiple data centers across the globe. They will maintain these data centers in a regions again. I've clearly explained what are the regions, what are the data centers, what are the availability zones in introduction video. That means in AWS a demo video. If you want, you can just go through it. Fine. Again, here AWS is having multiple regions: Mumbai, Singapore, North Virginia, and Canada, like this. Even Hyderabad also is a AWS region is there. But again, in the region, in each region, they will be having multiple availability zones. That availability zone is an actual data center. Fine. In this availability zones, we can create these virtual servers. That virtual server is called a EC2 instance. EC2 instance. EC2 instance is a virtual server, but we will call virtual server in AWS as a EC2 instance. That name is EC2 instance. That's it. If you go to Azure Cloud, that name is VM. That means virtual machine. If you go to GCP, compute engine instance like this, the name will be different, but that is the virtual server. In your data center, you will call virtual server. Fine. So this is the EC2 instance. Fine. Guys, here in your private cloud, that means in your data center, if you need any virtual servers, if you need multiple virtual servers or single virtual server, you have to raise a request with your manager, and then once your manager, if you give a proper justification, your manager will approve, then that request will go to your cloud team. Then cloud team will create virtual server for you, and they will assign that IP addresses to you. Fine. But here, you no need to depend on any other teams. You can directly log into AWS console and you can create EC2 instance within seconds. Within milliseconds, you can create EC2 instance. And that capacity also, that means, so whatever configuration you need, you can create it. Fine. So this is how we can use EC2 instance. Also, it is very easy to scale up and scale down. That means, see, for example, today you need some 100 EC2 instances on urgent basis. You can directly go into AWS console and you can just create. If you want multiple operating systems, also you can create. For example, 50 EC2 instances with Windows operating system you can create. If you want 10 Linux EC2 instances, you can create like that. Also, they will charge, AWS will charge as per the usage. For example, today, if you use 100 servers for 5 hours, they will charge for that 5 hours only for that 100 servers. That's it. If you don't want EC2 instances, you can just delete it. Delete them. After completion of your project, you can leave that infrastructure as it is. Also, you no need to maintain this hardware team, networking team, and storage team in AWS Cloud. They will maintain all those teams and they will maintain high security measures. Fine. So these are the differences between your on-premise virtual server and EC2 instance. You can create EC2 instance at your nearest region or nearest location to reduce the latency. For example, if you are working in India, you can create EC2 instance in Mumbai region. If you create in Mumbai region, you can access that EC2 instance or you can access that application inside that EC2 instance without any delay. But it doesn't mean that there will be much delay if you create EC2 in Singapore or North Virginia or other regions. No, not much delay. So very less. Fine. Also, there are various types of EC2 instances are available in AWS. For example, if you want memory optimized EC2 instance, sometimes if you want EC2 instance for video games or something, so then based on your requirement, you can create EC2 instance and you can just choose EC2 instance and you can just use it. Now we'll see what types of EC2 instances are available. See here. So various types of EC2 instances are available as we discussed some time back. Here, for example, if you want to run normal web applications, you can just go with the general purpose type of EC2 instance. In this general purpose type, you can just see the balanced CPU and normal CPU and memory. Fine. If you want EC2 instance for gaming purpose, you can go with compute optimized. This will have high CPU power. Also, if you want for database and analytics, you can go with the memory optimized. Based on the requirement, based on your requirement, you can choose the type of the EC2 instance. So they will charge accordingly. Let us start practical session of EC2 instance. In this practical session, I'm going to show you how to create EC2 instance from the scratch, how to connect EC2 instance. Also, I will show you how to access the application from the internet, which is in EC2 instance. Fine. Let me log into my AWS console. Yeah. Guys, here I have already told you a lot of times that I've made a video how to create a AWS free tier account. Again, I'm giving that link in the description. If you want, you can just go through that video by clicking on that link and you can create your AWS free tier account. Fine. Now, just open a browser and AWS console login, just type here. So this is a simple way. And click on this AWS management console and sign in. Yes. Now, click on this sign in using root user email. Fine. So again, you can see two options. One is root user and one is IAM user. But again, we will use root user now in this demo session. Also, you also please use root user when you are practicing. But in real life projects, we will be using IAM user only. In IAM concepts, very clearly, I have shown you what is the difference between root user and IAM user. If you want, you can just go through that video, IAM concepts. Fine. For now, just make sure root user option is selected. Fine. Now, this is my root user. Whatever email address you have used to create this account, that would be your root user. Fine. Click on this next and give a password and sign in. Guys, for me, it will ask MFA code because I have set up MFA code. In your case, if you don't set up MFA code, it will not ask you. If you want to set up, you can just download Google Authenticator into your mobile phone and you can set up that. 5, 7, 4. Fine. Yeah, this is AWS console. In your case, it will be empty, I think. So recently visited services, I can see here. Go to search option and type EC2 in the search bar. You can see here. Click on this EC2. Yeah. So you will get EC2 dashboard. This is EC here, EC2. Click on this dashboard. This is EC2 dashboard. In my case, instances running 0 instances, 2 instances are there, but no instance is running. Now I will create one instance. Fine. How to create? It's very simple ways. See here, launch instance in a dark orange color. Just click on this and yeah, just assign one name to this. I'll just give SRTech 9999. Fine. So this is the name of the EC2 instance. Fine. So again here, guys, see here, application and OS images. So this is the next section. First section is name section. Second section is application and OS images. That means if you want Ubuntu Linux in your EC2 instance, you can select Ubuntu. If you want Windows operating system in your EC2 instance, you can select it. EC2 means it's a virtual server. Fine. And I will just select Ubuntu Linux. Fine. Now go to next section, instance type. Here, which type you should select. So you should have an idea about this instance types. See here, T3 micro. In some regions, see, this is the region, Europe region. I am in Europe, Stockholm region. In some regions, you can see T2 micro. in some regions you can see T3 micro, but see here family T3, that family T3, that means the whatever instances starts with this T3, those are belongs to T3 family. Fine. And two vCPUs. That means this type of EC2 instance will be having two virtual CPUs. vCPU means virtual CPU and 1 GB memory. Fine. So click on it. So what are the other types are available here? See here. In your case, mine is paid account, yours is free tier account. Then it should be free tier eligible. You can see free tier eligible here. Wherever you see that free tier eligible option, you should select it. Otherwise, AWS will charge. Okay, fine. Now, T3 small. See here, T3 small is having family same and two vCPUs, and it will have 2 GB memory. T3 medium, 2 vCPUs, 4 GB memory. Like this, T3 large and even high capacity, high configuration machines also available. C5 large. This family is C5 because it's starting with C5. 2 vCPUs, 4 GB memory. See like this. GT4. X large means extra large. 4 CPUs, 8 GB. So 4 extra large. C5.4 extra large. This is having 16 CPUs and 32 GB memory. So like this, 12 extra large, 48 CPUs, like this. High configuration machines also available. But by mistake also, please don't select this high configuration machines. AWS will charge you. Wherever you see free tier eligible option, you just select that type of EC2 instance. They will not charge. Fine. And also one more thing, guys. As a free tier account holder, you can use that AWS free tier account for 1 year, but it doesn't mean that you can use all the services and unlimitedly. No. AWS will allow you to use limited services and also with the limitations. That means, so you cannot use all these T2 medium, T3 large and C5. No. There is some option like free tier eligible. You have to use that. And also, there is a limitation. That means per month, 750 hours only you can use for EC2 instance. On an average, if you create and running that, if you just keep running that instance for 1 month, also you will not be charged. But if you create another instance, that instance, they will charge. So better do one thing. As soon as you complete your practicals, as soon as your practice, don't forget to stop that EC2 instance. Okay, fine. So then you will not reach that limit. Yeah. I will just select T3 micro. Here, next section is key pair. What is key pair? Key pair is having two pairs, two keys. One is public key and private key. This is something like which will be used to connect that EC2 instance. For example, I'm using Windows laptop. Once I create this EC2 instance, if I want to connect that EC2 instance means server. If I want to connect that server from my Windows laptop, I can just use some terminal like a putty or something. If you want to connect from that terminal, you have to use this key pair. Fine. Now, if you don't, this is the one-time task base. Once you create this key pair, you can use multiple times. You can use forever. I will show you how to create this. Just create new key pair, and here .pem file and .ppk file. So two file formats are available here. I will just go with .ppk for use with putty. Okay, so most of the people will be using putty terminal to connect this EC2 instance, and mobile XTEM also is available. That also is very good. Fine. Now I will just select this .ppk because I am going to use putty. And give a name for this. I will give something. You can give any name. Fine. And just create a key pair. It will be downloaded. See in this downloads and show in folder. So that will be downloaded, and just copy and paste that. Next section is network settings. Network settings. In this section, better you don't use any of your custom settings because, so just leave it, leave as it is. If you don't select any particular settings, it will take the default settings. I will show you in the VPC session, VPC class, how to create your custom VPC and custom subnets. And then there we will just see how to select particular network settings. So now you just leave as it is and make sure here number of instances by default 1 will be there. If you want to create 2 instances, you can just give 2. So let it be 1 and launch instance. Click on this launch instance. Yeah. Now just go to this instances, click on these instances. Now, so Jenkins server and test environment, those are my previous instances. There is a stopper status. See, SRTech 9999, it's a running, but still it's initializing. Still is initializing. Just refresh by clicking on this. Also, guys, if you want, you can just connect this EC2 instance while it's initializing. No need to wait until initialization process completes. Okay, fine. So this is the EC2 instance. If you want to see only running instances, see here, go to this instance, okay, go to dashboard, click on this dashboard. See, click on this instances running, you can see here. These are the filters. If you want to see only running instances, you can just go to this filter. Just go to dashboard again. Yeah. Yeah, initialization completed. It came into running state. Fine. Now we have created EC2 instance and it is in running state now. See here, instant type T3 micro and status check. See, this 3x3 checks pass should be there. It will check its hardware and software and other things, that network settings and everything. So if everything is ready, then only it will declare that checks passed. Fine. And also availability zone. We have already discussed that AWS is having multiple regions across the globe. Every region is having multiple availability zones. Availability zone is nothing but data center. That is actual data center. Fine. In this zone, I am in a stack home region. See here, stack home region in Europe. In that region, this is the availability zone code. Then again, availability, multiple availability zones are there. 2 availability zones or 3 or 6. Depends on the region. Fine. And this is public IP. Guys, here you should remember one thing. Every EC2 instance will be having 2 IP addresses by default. One is private IP address and second is public IP address. Just click on it. Yeah. See here. One second. Yes, public IP address. This is public IP address. This is private IP address. What is the difference between public IP address and private IP address? If you want to connect EC2 instance within the cloud, within the AWS, you can use private IP address. If you want to connect AWS instance from outside of the cloud, that means through internet, you have to use public IP address. For example, you install one application in you are running one application in your EC2 instance. If you want to access that application, you have to use public IP address because you have to access that application through internet only. Fine. So that is the difference. And you should remember one more thing that is very important. Whenever you are stopping and starting EC2 instance, this public IP address will be changed. This is not standard. This is not constant. This IP address will be changed. So that is the reason whenever you are using EC2 instance in the production environment, if you want to share this IP address to your end users or other teams to access the application, which is in EC2 instance, you have to use elastic IP address. See here, elastic IP address is paid one. If you want, you can create elastic IP addresses and you can assign that elastic IP address to EC2 instance. It will not be changed unless you release that IP address. It will never change. Okay, fine. And now, how to connect this EC2 instance? One way is we can connect within the cloud. See here, that is very simple. Just select this instance and click on this connect. That's it. Yeah, again, connect. Yeah, see here, public IP address, private IP address. But it will use private IP address because we are connecting this EC2 instance within the cloud. We are not connecting from outside of the cloud. See here, 170, see here, 172.31.16.63. See the private IP address, 172.31.16.63. It is using private IP address. This Ubuntu, what is this Ubuntu? Ubuntu at the rate IP address. Ubuntu means this is the username. Who has created this user? Nobody has created. By default, Ubuntu will give one username. So without user ID, you cannot access the server, right? You cannot log into the server. That is the reason Ubuntu will give one a user, default user. That username is Ubuntu. If you go with another Linux distribution, that something like Amazon Linux, it will give that EC2 user, something like that. So the username is different. Fine. Now, click on it. Ubuntu is the normal user. It's not a root user. You should know the difference between normal user and root user. In Linux series, I have clearly explained what is the difference between normal user and a root user. Normal user is having some limitations. That means you cannot access all the folders and files and all the areas. Whereas root user can be used for everything. So root user is having complete access. Fine. Now, if you want to switch from normal user to root user, sudo space su enter. Yeah. Now, give the cd space enter. See here, root user. Also, you can, whatever you want, you can just do that. If you want to create any folder, mkdir, srtext, something. Mkdir is the Linux command to create a folder. Right. Now give ls. ls is the command to list all the directories and folders. See here, srtext got created. Right. So this is one way to connect EC2 instance. We'll see another way. Yeah, fine. We'll see how to connect from outside of the cloud. You exit, come out of this, and actually sudo space su hyphen prasad. This means if you want to switch from one user to another user, this is the command actually. Prasad means another user. I don't have any user name with the prasad because just now I've created this EC2 instance. Just I'm showing you. If you give like this, this will switch to you'll be switching from Ubuntu user to Prasad user. If you don't give anything here, by default, it will switch to root user. /home/Ubuntu is the home directory of Ubuntu user. So these home directories and everything are very clearly explained in Linux series. Please go through it. Okay, fine. Now you exit. Exit means it will come out of this. Now exit again. So logging out. See, log out. Yeah, fine. Now let it log out. Fine. Now guys, another method is I'm going to use putty. Putty is the terminal. You can download the putty from internet. See, open a browser. Putty download for Windows or something. Yeah, see here, open the first link. And here, click on this download putty. You'll get this. And here, go here, 64-bit. Nowadays, every laptop is 64-bit only. Yeah, just click on this putty.exe. And I have already in my system. I'm not going to download it again. Just if you want, you can just click on it. It will download. Already I have. So in folder, then you can take that putty icon and you can just keep in your desktop like this. I have putty desktop, putty icon in my desktop. See, this is the putty. Double click on it. Okay. Yeah. So this is putty. Here, as we discussed, we have to use public IP address here because public IP address should be used whenever you are logging in outside of the cloud. root instance, and this is the public IP address. Copy it and go to putty. Sorry. Go to putty. Let me just remove it. Let me close this also. And yeah, putty hostname or IP address. You should give public IP address. Yeah, this is port should be 22. That's let it be. And here, yeah, click on this SSH. See, click on this auth. That means authorization or authentication. See here, credentials. Click on these credentials. Yeah, private key file or for authentication. So what should we give here? If you remember, when we are launching instance, when we are creating EC2 instance, we have created one key pair. In that key pair, we have downloaded PPT. Then is that key pair. Okay, browse it. I kept that in my desktop. Yeah, PPK file. If you remember, I gave that name also SRTech 9999. Okay, fine. Now, just open. You can just open. Yeah, this is your terminal. Login. Login means how to log in. We need a user ID, right? We have user ID. Ubuntu. We can just use Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Yes. Now, right. Clear the screen. CLEAR. Sorry. CLEAR. Yeah, fine. Yeah, this is our public IP address. Now, sudo su. Yes. Yes. Now, if you want to just give PWD means present working directory. I mean /root directory. So these root directories and Linux files and everything I covered in Linux series. You can just go through that series and you can get a knowledge on Linux. Okay. Yeah. This is how we can create EC2 instance and we can connect EC2 instance from within the cloud and from outside the cloud. Now we'll see how to deploy an application, how to deploy an application in EC2 instance and how to access that application from the internet, from outside world. Now we'll see how to access the application which is in EC2 instance from outside world. And for that, what we will do, now I will show you how to deploy a simple application in this EC2 instance and we will try to access that application from the outside world. Fine. For this, guys, don't confuse. I'm going to install just a simple application. For the code also, I will show you how to take from ChatGPT. Okay, fine. Now, this is our EC2 instance. Switch to root user. So enter. Fine. Clear the screen. Now, what we will do to run our application, we need application server. I will install Nginx server here. See here, apt-get in our DevOps sessions. I have clearly explained what is Nginx and what is Tomcat and everything. If you are interested, you can just go and check in the DevOps sessions. You can see how to deploy an applications and everything. Okay. apt-get update. apt-get update is the command to install something in the Ubuntu server. apt-get update and apt-get install Nginx. Fine. If it is Red Hat Linux or CentOS Linux or Amazon Linux, M update or M install, YUM. Okay, fine. So only very few commands will be changed from one Linux flavor to another Linux flavor. That also I have very clearly explained in Linux sessions. Okay. In my case, I have already installed this Nginx. So that is the reason you will not get complete output here. So in your case, you will get some bit of this one stuff here. Fine. Now, once you install this Nginx, go to this path, series /var/www/html. This is the default deployment path for Nginx server. That means whatever application you want to install in this Nginx server, you should install in this path. This is the default path. Okay, fine. Once you install Nginx server, you can see this path. Now, let me just create one file, vim space index.html. Vim is the command to create a Linux file. So this everything, all these commands I explained in Linux sessions. And enter. By default, it will open in a escape mode, and you have to switch from escape mode to insert mode if you want to do any modifications in Linux file. Okay, fine. Better you just go through my Linux series case. In that Linux series, I'll cover that basics, Linux basic. Okay. And here, yeah, how to go to ChatGPT. Better I'm just showing you. And here, the simple generate index.html file to display Azure technologies. Generate basic index.html. I will just enter. Yeah, that's it. So just copy this code and go to this file. Go to insert mode. Type I. You can see insert here. Then only you can just paste here. Yeah, I pasted. Go to escape mode again. Just by pressing that escape button from your keyboard, you can just go to escape mode. And now :WQ. WQ means save and exit. This you can go through Linux. Then only you can understand this file creation and WQ and insert mode, escape mode, and everything. Okay, fine. Yeah. Now our application is running in this server. How to access this application? Fine. As I told you sometime back, we need to use public IP address if you want to access your EC2 instance or application from the outside world, from the internet. Just open a browser and take this public IP address. Yeah, this one, public IP address. This is the public IP address, 171. Go here. Yeah. Paste this here, :80, because 80 is the port number for Nginx server. If you give only this IP address, your request will go till that server. So inside that server, our application, SR Technologies application is running inside that Nginx server. That is the reason you have to give 80. If it is a Tomcat server, you have to give 8080. That is the default port number for that. For Nginx, 80. You enter. So by default, it will not take. By default, it will not allow you to access your application. So what to do for that? So how to access our application? For that, what we need to do, we need to edit the inbound rules. See here, the site cannot be reached. For that, go to EC2 instance and go to this security. See here, select this EC2 instance. Once you select, you will get this options. Click on this security. Here you can see security groups. Just click on the security groups. Here you can see edit inbound rules. Select that edit inbound rules option. And see here, click on this add rule. Here, port range. What port we need? 80. That's it. And come here, select all zeros, CADR blacks. If you select all zeros, that means it will allow any type of traffic. Right. Now save rules. This each and everything I have explained in DevOps and Linux topics. Yeah, and also this inbound rules and security groups I've explained in a VPC concept. If you go through that VPC concept, you will understand very clearly what is security group, what is inbound rules, what is outbound rules, and all these things. Right. And now, if possible, I will do one separate video, short video for this security groups and NACLs and other topics also, which is very, very important. Right. Now just go here and refresh. Then it will allow. See here, SR Technologies. That's it. Guys, please practice these sessions. Whatever I've just showed you in these videos, you can practice by creating AWS free tier account. Also, I'm again I'm asking you to please like the video and share with your friends so that the people who are waiting to learn this AWS with free of cost. So most of the people are struggling with the fees and these things. So that is the reason I'm just making all these videos. So it will help them. Okay, fine. Now